So, Microsoft SQL Server. Basically, SQL Server is used to store different types of data. I mean, numbers, characters, date time data. So, different types of data can be stored in this database. So here important thing is to store data, we have files also. We have different types of files. Now, those files, by using those files also we can store data. But still, why we are going for databases? That is the question. See, these databases, RDBMS databases, can provide security to your database. These databases can provide performance and storage capacity. So these are all the major reasons why we are going for RDBMS databases. So generally, security means we feel like username, password kind of scenarios. So by using username, password, you can impose security in the databases. Generally, we feel like that. That's correct. But not only those scenarios, actually, for example, you are going for user management. You're giving username, password. So by using that, you can go for some type of security. But what about database level security? I mean, for example, you're working with some database. If your database is failed, then what? That's my point then. Right? If your database is failed, then what to do? In the same way, so if your database is failed, you can go for backups concept. So generally, in every database, we take backup copy of the database, security purpose only. Suppose database is failed, then we can recover that database by using backup. So backup concept is also security. Okay, fine. For example, you have some database. You've taken backup from the database. Now you lost database and backup also. What to do? Right? So different levels of security. So there we can go for duplicate database maintenance. For example, you're already working with some production database. For that production database, you just create some duplicate environment. Production and duplicate. Same data will be there in the production and the duplicate database. Now, if you lost your database or your backup, you can use this duplicate database as your production. So that is what the scenario. Right? So these are the different levels of securities can be implemented in RDBMS databases. See that? So the thing is, generally we feel like security means user implementation, user management, giving a username, password, this type of things. Right? And so not only these things, like next performance related scenarios also. Performance means speed, accessing speed of the database. So that is called as performance. So to improve performance of the databases, we are working with different concepts like joins, subqueries, views, indexes, stored procedures. Different types of concepts we have in SQL development. We are going to work with them. Coming to next step, storage capacity. See, in real-time environment, we are going to work with terabyte size of the databases. Right? And so 1 terabyte equal to how much? 1024 GB. So that much of data, terabyte size of the data also, we are going to store, we are going to maintain in these databases. So this is really important for us. So these are all most important features of the RDBMS databases. And moreover, tables concept. In RDBMS databases, you can store data only in the form of tables. There is no other facility. So in the beginning of the database development, we are going to create tables. In those tables, we are going to store data. So basically, what is table means? Table is collection of rows and columns. Column names will be there, under column names data. Right? So these are all really important for us. And coming to next scenario, let us start. These are all coming from RDBMS. So RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Basically, RDBMS means set of rules, right? Set of rules which can be imposed on specific set of columns of the table. Okay, no? Or tables, whatever it. So Mr. E.F. Card developed this theory, RDBMS theory. So by following RDBMS theory, now we are working with different databases. So MS SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server is also RDBMS one. So coming to next scenario. Next step. Microsoft SQL Server. We are starting actual thing now. So what are the advantages of working with RDBMS? I mean Microsoft SQL. So basically it is RDBMS database. Relational database management system. In the same, it is product of Microsoft Corporation. We know that generally Microsoft product means most valuable product in the IT industry, no doubt. Right. In the same way, SQL Server is user-friendly RDBMS. User-friendly in the sense easy to work, right? So in SQL Server environment, we got graphical user interface tool. Okay, graphical user interface tool. So by using that tool, easily we can complete the task. So based on that only, I can say it is user-friendly RDBMS. Okay. Coming to next scenario, SQL Server is not case sensitive. Case sensitive means what? Capital letters, small letters, issues. But it's not case sensitive. You can go for capital letters, small letters, even mixing also. Right? So these are all really important for us. And coming to next scenario, now development activities. Before going to start our work, let us see some scenarios here. Like, for example, your project, in our project, minimum 3 servers will be there like this. Right? And this is the development server. Who is going to work with the development environment? Developer. SQL Server developer team will be there. They are going to develop this database. Developer means we are only. This is development training, right? And so coming to next scenario, development means what? What are the operations we're going to do by using development? Tables creation, right? And so table creation is very important because in RDBMS databases, we can store data only in the form of tables, right? There is no other facility. So after creating tables, we are going to work with the commands, queries, programs like stored procedures. These are all we are going to work out. So in this scenario only, some people ask me, sir, how you're going to work with these tables? These are all. Generally, what happens, in real-time environment, when we are working with some project as developer, clients will be there. And client, customer, these are all will be there. You can ask some question. Client means what? You are all my clients today because you're all attending my class today, right? Right. So in our team, some business people will be there. Business analyst, in the same architect people, these are all will be there. So they are going to interact with client side people, and they'll collect requirements. So what are the requirements then? So what you want from this project actually? Right? So they'll prepare some requirements. Based on that, we are going to create tables working with commands, queries, programs, stored procedures like programs. These are all we are going to do. So some requirements will be there. Certain requirements will be there related to your project. So based on requirement only, we are going to develop the databases. This is very important point. So after finishing these activities, your database development database goes to QA. In QA, testing engineers team will be there, and they're going to test the database developed by development team. Right? After testing, it goes to production. So maintain clarity from the beginning, not only learning course, what we are doing here, what are the different environments we are maintaining. In the same way, end users data, customers data is part of production. Right? So this environment production, we are going to store customers data. We are developers, right? In development environment, we are not going to store customers data. We are going to work with only test data. And basically, No user interaction will be there on development environment. The only thing is production. In production only we are going to store that. And coming to next scenario, so maintain clarity. These are the different servers we are going to maintain, different databases we are going to maintain, right? And coming to next step. Storage related scenarios. So generally, what are the steps we are going to follow in SQL development environment means? In the beginning, we are going to finish installation of the SQL server. After that, we are going to create database. Then only you can store data. This is what happens. In the beginning, we go for installation. After completion of the SQL installation, we are going to create database. After database creation only, you can store data. So here, important point is SQL server installation and database creation will be done by DBA team, not developer. Right? Developer will do SQL installation and database creation. After that only, you can go for development activities, then QA, then production. Inside production, we can store data. Right? So this is really important. So where your development is starting, development server, we feel like, before that some work will be there. Somebody has to install SQL server, create database, then only you can go and develop the database. Otherwise, you cannot, right? So these are really important. So coming to next scenario. Now, so different servers, different environments. So some servers, some databases were going to store data, and some servers and some databases were not going to store data. So here you're working with the different scenarios means different flavors of the SQL server will be there. Because in real-time environment, you are working with the SQL server means you should go for license. So licensed version of the SQL server is required for us. No doubt. So now we have to discuss about what are the different versions of the SQL available and different editions of the SQL available. These are all the points we are going to discuss today. Because just only we discussed different scenarios, right? So coming to versions of the SQL Server, first version was, SQL Server 2000, which is also known as 8.0. Okay. So before 8.0 also there were some versions, but 8.0 SQL Server 2000 onwards, we got the proper tools to interact with the databases and to perform different types of operations. Next, SQL Server 2005 9.0. Then they released SQL Server 2008, which is also known as 10.0 version, and in this only they released R2 also, 2008 R2 release 2. Right. Next we have SQL Server 2012, which is also known as 11.0. Next, 2014 12.0. 2016 environment 13.0. Then we have 2017 14.0. 2019 is also there, that is 15.0. So these are the different versions of the SQL Server available from the beginning, right? So latest version is SQL Server 2019 15.0. So in the same way, different servers, different environments. So different flavors of the SQL will be there, additions. Enterprise edition of SQL Server. See, this is top end edition of the SQL, because within SQL Server, enterprise edition is costliest. In the same way, enterprise edition contains all features of the SQL Server, each and every feature. So for production server, we are going to work with enterprise edition. So production environment is really important because we are going to store customers' data in production server only, right, Andy? So production is always important for us. Next, we have standard edition. Standardization of the SQL server. The major difference between enterprise edition and standard edition is cost will be reduced. Even features also reduced. Okay. Some companies will go for standard edition for production, but maximum for production server purpose we are working with the enterprise edition only, no doubt. Then we have developer edition of the SQL server. So limited cost to limited features. We use developer edition for development server and QA server. Right? And development server and QA server, we are going to work with developer edition. So then we are going to work with Express edition. Express edition completely free. We can download it from official website of the Microsoft Corporation. And we can start working with the developer edition. Right? And so these are the different types of editions, flavors available in SQL Server. So remember, production server, we are going to work with the QA test environment, testing environment only, sir. So production enterprise, and for development, we use developers. Just cost cutting. So these are the things we have here. And the next class, I'm going to discuss about software requirements, hardware requirements, and other scenarios. After that, I'm going to start working with commands. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to work with instance related scenarios, database creation related scenarios. Everything will work from tomorrow onwards. Okay. Right. Yeah, correct.
Hi, sir.
Shravanti, tell me.
Sir, this is my first class, sir.
I think you attended last week, right, Shravanti?
Yeah, sir. Last week I attended, but the time I could not attend, sir, at that time.
No problem. That's why today we discussed about, we started with basic scenarios again. Okay. And actual concept we are going to start from tomorrow.
How many classes over, sir?
Only one demo completed. Today also again I have given demo only. Actual training is going to start from tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Okay, no?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Right. Any questions, anybody?
Sir, what are the timings?
Same time, 4 p.m.
4 p.m. to
5 p.m. Okay, no?
Hello.
Yeah, Mayuri.
Yes, sir. What is the exact work of SQL Server?
Data storage only. Used to store different types of data. That is a major task of the developer, and you'll get it after finishing tomorrow and day after tomorrow's class. You'll get more clarity on this. Okay, no? Duration is 1 month, yeah.
Sir, you will share that recordings of
Recordings will be uploaded to Google Drive and they'll give you access to Google Drive. Okay, na?
thank you, sir.
Now we will give soft copy material. Okay, right then. See you tomorrow.